the United States has held 5 rounds of negotiations with Iran to resolve these long-standing concerns. Let me
I'm gonna try to do dead mines.
In recent months, the United
Straight up.
States has held 5 rounds of negotiations with Iran to resolve these long-standing concerns. A 6th round of talks was planned for Sunday, but Netanyahu chose instead to start this war. So let's be clear. Israel's attack was specifically designed to
I need to go to
sabotage
Stormwind first.
American diplomatic efforts. In fact,
Because I need to learn dual wielding, or at least see when I can learn dual wielding.
Assassinated the man overseeing Iran's nuclear negotiating team. And let's also remember that U.S. intelligence has never indicated that Iran has made the decision to build a nuclear weapon. Just a few months ago, Trump's own director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, testified to Congress that, quote, the intelligence community continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, end of quote. But Netanyahu chose to attack, crippling diplomatic efforts and risking a full-blown regional war. He is now openly talking about regime change in Iran and threatening to kill the political leadership of that country without any thought to the chaos that might ensue. Let's also not forget that the current Islamic regime in Iran is itself the product of a Western-backed coup in 1953 that overthrew the democratically elected government of Iran and replaced it with a corrupt autocrat. The critical question now is whether the United States will get dragged into Netanyahu's war. In my view, that would be a disaster. The United States must not be involved with another Netanyahu war, not militarily or financially. The United States Constitution is crystal clear. There can be no offensive use of military force against Iran or any other country without an explicit
This thing I like about Bernie is he's half right about everything at all times. Get up. Here. Shut up. Don't open this door for any reason. Fuck! Fuck! I need a damn office chair. Oh. Anyway. What's this?
Greetings.
No, I'm not doing all that. Oh, so I'm not gonna worry about doing the quests for Dead Mines. I'm just gonna go do Dead Mines. Oops, wrong way. See, I don't know where... Oh, and you got warrior trainers in here, right? Then you got hunter trainers. So where's the fucking...
No! Keep your feet on the ground!
It's not what I want. I want weapon masters. Maybe profession trainers, I don't know. I don't think I've ever been over here before. Barmaid? No. Here we go. Weapons master.
Interesting.
I don't care about any of that.
Talk to me. Off with you.
Don't care about any of that.
How are you?
Though I will sell all this shit.
Safe travels. Talk to me.
Interest ya in a pint? Safe travel.
Let me look this up. Wow. Two-handed training. Or no. Wow. Shit. Duel. Okay, you get it passively. Okay, now WoW sword trainer. See, dwarfs can't use swords though.
Great to meet you. Watch your back.
And I'm pretty sure the trainer for swords is in Stormwind. So I've gone to him like multiple times throughout my life. Oh. Yeah. Yep. Okay. See, I was gonna go there anyway to do Dead Mines, but this makes it easier. If I end up getting a quest later that brings me back to Dead Mines, it's fine, but I kind of want to grind the gear because it actually means a lot more now with my system. This is easy XP right here. I should probably take this quest.
Need assistance? You have a great day now.
I should have got this earlier. I'll take 900 XP though. That's nothing to blink at.
Hi, how are you? Off and away. Can I help you? All right.
Sure. I'm on my way there anyway. Might as well do it.
We've taken our classic chicken sandwich to the next level with juicier, crispy.
So there's a good chance that they might have a bit of a bombing now. This is the 3 military options Trump might consider. We'll see about this.
The president's potential options here. And as you see it, there are 3 main scenarios that could play out here. The first one is essentially that Israel decides to go it alone.
Correct. So if the president decides to let the Israelis do it by themselves, if he's comfortable, he thinks they have the capabilities to do enough damage that he's comfortable with the after effects of it, this is what it would look like. So in terms of Fordo, you really have 2 options. The Israelis previously launched a raid into Syria about 200 kilometers north into a chemical weapons facility. So they put commandos on the ground before. That's an extreme option with a lot of risk, obviously putting people on. But as you can see, the tunnel entrance is here. So we got them here, right, here, and here, right? So if you're going to send folks inside into the mountain into a deep buried facility as a render safe mission, kind of difficult.
Yeah, but I mean, how defended is this area, though? I mean, are there, Iranians on the ground?
Sure.
What else is there?
So, I mean, there's plenty of defenses that are here. This was specifically
Age of Empires, yeah.
built as a deep buried facility to withstand conventional attacks, either from a ground or an air raid.
Yeah.
So, and you also have what we call fatal funnels or choke points, because if
shit,
there's
I
any
forgot to
guns
turn it
inside,
on.
those are the only entrance points, and that's where they're pointing. So
No
it's a very
quest in
difficult
here.
mission set for anybody performing it.
Yeah.
No.
So the second option is that the United States does a limited attack, and it sounds like from our reporting that is what the United States is trying to figure out. What is the limited option here?
Right, so if it's limited options, so if it wasn't the ground raid and the Israelis, those same tunnels, if they don't bomb them and collapse the tunnels and the air shafts so they can't get inside, requiring constant suppression, then it becomes the U.S. option, right? There's really only one aircraft that's capable of carrying the 30,000-pound bunker-busting bombs required to do the mission, and it's the B-2 stealth bombers.
So yeah, we already know about this one.
Round trip to the United States with refueling, provided that none of them were deployed. Probably multiple sorties involved, but that's realistically what we're looking at in order to do enough damage to set the program back.
Yeah, and the B-2s,
it's laggy.
Israel.
I feel like they're guessing, right? And like, there's only so many things that the U.S. can really do. So, I mean, unless they have like some super secret weapon that we have no idea about. But I feel like if they did, they probably wouldn't use that in this situation. So like, you can pretty much assume what the different outcomes are going to be. Right? I mean, that's what I would say.
They don't have them, and that's why it requires the U.S., and they can't deliver as big of a blow from the air.
Yeah, so talk us through option 3. This is essentially looking at the region and saying, not just this one facility, but let's take it all out. Like, what are we talking about in terms of that?
Sure, I think this is the least likely option to start with. If the president makes a decision to hit Fordo, his political base doesn't support, a war. He certainly doesn't want to collapse the government there and deal with nation and state building, which is what we saw in Iraq and Afghanistan. But if we did go in and decide to strike, right?
You can collapse a nation and not build it back up. Like, what makes you feel obligated to get involved in nation building after you destroy a nation's government? Like, there's no actual obligation. You can just leave anytime you want.
Yeah, I feel like even if that happens, there's going to be a lot of people that still won't want to get involved in the war. Like, even if U.S. forces got attacked or something like that, I still just don't really, I just don't really see that happening.
Between Qatar, the UAE, we've got major air bases. U.S. Central Command has a forward headquarters at Al Udeid Air Force Base in Doha. We've got major bases in Kuwait. But what's probably the most likely would be the U.S. bases here. So Baghdad up north in Kurdistan, and then here in Syria along the border, which is what everybody's predicting they would try to hit. So the U.S. has been surging assets in. F-22 squadron came in today into the U.K. All kinds of fighter assets and air defense systems to protect U.S. forces that are there. Ships were moved out of the harbors, and aircraft that were not in hardened bunkers have already been moved out. It is very clear the U.S. is preparing for a potential option to strike at this point.
Yeah.
It's obvious. It's obvious. It's going to happen, 100%. Yep. Everybody knows it. Most Americans think UK is 9%
strike, but they do
Wait,
not.
what do you mean by that?
it seems like, want a scenario where all of this
Iran's monster mountains.
No, I think that's what they're trying to avoid, and everything today from CENTCOM has largely been defensive in nature to protect forces that are there. And there's a lot of dual citizens. People don't realize that there are millions of citizens that are
Wait, was that going to send me to
traveling through the region
Westfall?
through Europe, and those that are dual citizens of Israel and other countries.
Yeah, Alex, thank you very much for joining us and for giving us all that information.
Oh,
Will
it
he
was.
or won't he? Tonight, the world is watching and waiting for President Trump
Oh,
to
shit.
make the single most consequential decision of his time in office so far.
I think so, too.
Whether he will allow the United States to get involved in the conflict between Israel
I
and
wanted to go to
Iran.
this trainer
Now,
over
just
here.
a short time ago, CNN learned that Trump has reviewed potential attack plans for Iran, but he has not approved them. He is holding off to see if Tehran steps back from its nuclear program. Meanwhile, Trump met with his national security team in the Situation Room to discuss the options for U.S. military involvement. And we're told that top officials are now discussing how the U.S. can strike Iran without becoming embroiled in a full-scale war. Meanwhile, Israel and Iran continue to trade strikes, and the relentless barrage enters its 7th day. So here is what Iran is
I'm
saying
actually
if the
surprised.
United States decides to join Israel's attacks.
This thing is so laggy. I'm actually surprised that they were able to like get a few new bombs off. I didn't expect that at all. Like I thought, especially like after like how many just like false alarms it was, like that maybe they did. I mean, in my opinion, I think the U.S. is going to join the conflict for sure, but I just don't know to what extent. That's the difference. Do you think the bunker buster stuff is all posturing to scare the Iranian government into a deal? Well, I think like it's both, right? I mean, it's true that we can do it, but it's also true that we don't want to do it. Like the best case scenario would be if they surrendered and they just deconstructed their military or their nuclear program, right? That would be the best case scenario. Hell no, we've used it on the proxies before. Yeah, no, I mean, of course,
I've already paid for the fare,
well,
so.
I mean, they might not do that, but that's definitely that would be our best case scenario. Never the real Iran surrender? Yeah, I don't know.
The Americans decide to get involved militarily. We have no choice but to retaliate wherever we find the targets necessary to be acted upon.
CNN anchor Anderson Cooper is live now in Tel Aviv. Anderson, now that you are on the ground in Israel, what is it like there? Do you get the sense of anticipation for what Trump's decision is going to be and what that might mean for Israel and the region?
There's certainly a lot of anticipation here. Just in the last hour, Iran's Revolutionary Guard has said that air defenses have been activated in Tehran. Now, the IDF has
so I have a
also
tank.
in the last hour put out a warning to Iranians in 2 areas around Tehran to evacuate because of strikes that they are going to be conducting. There's no word yet on what the latest targets might be from Israel. Earlier today, the Israeli Air Force said that 25 fighter jets
Wasn't this guy a healer?
40 targets in western Iran. We're talking about missile storage sites, military personnel, missile launchers as well. Israel continues, Abby, as you know, to dominate the skies.
We're going to go in with an under-leveled group.
Somehow there's not an ability for them to, like, I mean, they just keep shooting missiles, right? How many of these fucking sites do they have? It's insane.
Over western Iran and seems able to take their time selecting
Actually,
targets, searching for
it's
new
pretty
targets,
obvious what's going to happen,
and hitting those at will. Now, at the same time, Iran.
Hold on here. So having a 16 means I need 14. Having a 14 means I'm even. Having a 14 means I can have another 16. Having a 10 is 5 less. That's 21. So if I get rid of this, it'd be 20. Get the level 18 rogue in here. Dead mines are a bust, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, let me get to the entrance of Dead Mines here and I'll come out there.
What?
Entrance of Dead Mines. There's like a chest or something. It wasn't even in my party. Kind of crazy, actually. Damn. I eviscerated those dudes. Serious fucking business right now. Shit, I don't think I want it. He's just gonna bleed. I don't. I don't have anything. I'll be level 16 before I even get in a fucking dungeon at this rate, dude. Once I get to the engine though, entrance, I'm gonna go ahead and get off. Probably not for the night. See if I can do this before bed. I will get off and get back on later. Server's trying to crash.
That ability isn't ready yet. Can't do that yet.
I need
That ability isn't ready yet.
Shit. I wish the whole party was here, but this is fine. My gear's taking some damage, though. It's not terrible. I should be fine for the rest of the instance. I'm coming. What Ronnie want?
Say goodnight.
Oh.
Being a nice neighbor.
What's the temperature?
7.
We turn it to 74. And once it kicks off, I'm not turning it back on until I go to bed.
I need more mana.
Shit. Server's crashing. It's actually fine if it does, because if it does, it will revert me back to, Oh, the window's still open. I'm gonna force relog here. Yeah, it's actually just froze. Oh, shit. 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 Oh, I'm starting to wonder if I should do Wrath without any fucking bots, because this thing just crashes so much, dude. And I'm literally just trying to get to the Dead Mines fucking entrance. All I'm trying to do.
Iran's ability to launch missiles here into Tel Aviv and elsewhere into Israel seems to be greatly reduced today. There have only been 2 warnings that have gone out to residents here in Tel Aviv to seek shelter. We've gone down to the shelters twice today. That's a lot less than in prior days. No reports of any fatalities as a result of those attempts by Iran. It is just past 5 a.m. here. Dawn is just starting to break, and once again, residents here are going to be waking up wondering what this next phase of the conflict will bring and what will President Trump decide to do.
Yeah, I mean, the entire world waits. And I know, Anderson, you've only been on the ground for a short time now, but what is life like in Tel Aviv? I mean, are people able to go about their lives? I mean,
would
we've
expect
seen
that.
A lot of our correspondents and anchors having to go into stairwells and bomb shelters as these sirens have gone on. But are people able to do other things?
Ready to lose the hat and regrow the hair? With Choose by Hims, you can regain your hair and your confidence.
Yeah, you know, life in many ways has slowly gotten back, I wouldn't say to normal here. There's certainly a lot of concern about what lies ahead, how long this may go on for, what the impact of it is going to be, and whether or not the U.S. is going to get it.
Senator Slotkin.
Thank you, Chairman.
Slotkin.
Mr. Secretary, I said in your hearing, when you had your confirmation hearing, that my biggest concern with you at the helm was the potential use of the military in ways that contradict the Constitution or that taint what I hope we all want, which is an apolitical military. And when I asked you about whether you would accept an order that was actually given to your predecessors.
Yeah, I'm aware my server crashed. Don't start with me. Just get stepping. I'll be out there in a second.
Troops against unarmed protesters and in Secretary Esper's words, shoot at them, shoot at their legs. You said this was all theoretical. Here we are, a few months later. You've deployed 4,700 troops to Los Angeles, and against the wishes of the governor. And my colleague across the aisle was right. It is the first time since 1965 that we have deployed Guard troops without the permission of the governor. In all the instances he laid out, the president had sent in the military to protect protesters, not against the protesters. So you may dismiss it, but I feel like this is a fundamental issue of American democracy. If you love your country and you want an apolitical military, then it should be the last resort, not the first resort in our country to use them. So to get to the non-theoretical, have you authorized the uniformed military to detain or arrest protesters in Los Angeles?
Senator, I would just start by saying you're not a protester if you're throwing concrete.
100%. Arrest those people. Throw them in the jail. 100%. But what you're doing is something different. Everyone knows this is a political decision, right? So we don't trust that you're using the best interests of the military, certainly, and of democracy on top of that. So have you given the order? That's all I want to know. It's not theoretical. For the U.S. military, not law enforcement. They can arrest all day long. That's their job. Do they have the ability, the uniformed military, to arrest and detain protesters currently today? It's a yes or no thing. Authority.
It's sort of amusing the extent to which the speculation is out there. These troops are given very clear orders.
Then what is the order? Then list it out for us. Be a man, list it out. Did you authorize them to detain or arrest? That is a fundamental issue of democracy. I'm not trying to be a snot here. I'm just trying to get the actual, did you authorize them to do that?
All of these orders and what they're sent there to do are public.
Okay, so say it. So say it. Yes or no?
I need more mana.
What's she asking
yes or
again?
no?
As I've said time and time again, interruption. They're there to protect law enforcement,
do they have
ICE
the ability
officers
to
who are
arrest?
trying to do their job, deporting illegals who were allowed in by the previous administration.
So they cannot arrest and detain citizens of the United States, the uniformed military.
As we've stated, if necessary, in their own self-defense, they could temporarily detain and hand over to ICE. But there's no arresting going on. And you know this better than if you're trying to play political games. There's no arresting of U.S.
of the U.S. military against members of the protest. have you authorized U.S. military cyber tools
need more
to
mana.
investigate people participating in these protests? Yes or no?
Certainly in no way that I'd be aware of.
Okay, that's good. I love that answer. That's great. Have you given the order to be able to shoot at unarmed protesters in any way? I'm just asking the question. Don't laugh. Like, the whole country, and by the way, my colleagues
What is
across
that
the
based
aisle,
on? What evidence did you
it
have
is
that an
based
order
on
like that
Donald
has ever
Trump
been given?
giving that order to your predecessor, to a Republican Secretary of Defense, who I give a lot of credit to because he didn't accept the order. He had more guts and balls than you because he said, I'm not going to send in the uniformed military to do something that I know in my gut isn't right. He was asked to shoot at their legs. He wrote that in his book. That's not hearsay. So your poo-pooing of this, it just shows you don't understand who we are as a country, who we are. And all of my colleagues across the aisle, especially the ones that serve, should want an apolitical military and not want citizens to be scared of their
turn
own.
that off. That election was rigged for sure. Alright, I believe the way we need to go is this way. Oh shit. Oh fuck.
Heal me. I need more mana.
Allie can res. This is outlandish, dude. I still need to learn my other first aid training. What the fuck is going on? Just res this dude. What the fuck are you idiots doing? No, flee. Flee. You made me fucking cheat because you don't know what the hell's going on. I've been in the same spot for so long. Let's go. They're literally, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Oh, they're figuring it out, I think. We'll have to see if they can do it. A whole lot of mobs have to clear out because because they seem to just aggro through the fucking floor.
I am nearly out of fodder.
This rogue is carrying us. I really don't need this. We're finally at the entrance. Now I can actually get up and go eat my dinner. Alright, I'll be back.